Lord, this conflict will need a leader. Are you ready to lead an army? Well, I think that's something the Lord will put together. Certainly we can't do that, especially when, several years ago I thought about that and how y'all need to build this encampment, and I was told that people had already started encampments in various places, and the Lord told me they've already been infiltrated by government agents, and that's simply why He hadn't moved on getting me involved with these encampments, safe havens, and places like that. Eventually maybe He will. So a big part of my work has been done that He was waiting for me to do, and that was done this June. And so I don't know what His plans are, and I certainly never step before Him. I always just wait for Him. Tell me what to do next. Lead me into what to do next. And for now, He just wants me preparing His people and preparing ourselves for the things that are coming. And so that's basically all I'm doing right now, folks. When He decides to bring His people together, I think it will be a last-minute type thing. His timing is always perfect. That I do know. As much as I sometimes just want to hit my head up against the wall because He doesn't act as fast as I think He should or could have. Because that's how we think about things. His timing ultimately is always perfect. It's always perfect. And so, I'm just sitting and waiting on Him. And I have all the confidence in the world that whatever He needs us to do, we'll do. He knows He has the people out here, go-to people, that will do whatever He asks. And so, that's all He needs, folks. One person, willing to do what He says and being obedient and faithful to Him. He doesn't even need a whole army, because He can work through one person. One last question. If you felt a false flag was going to happen, what kind of attack will it be? Something that would create a lot of dead orgone energy. Something like a dirty bomb, or something like that. Depends how desperate they're going to get. Because we've been in battles with them for the last 2 years over the energy vortexes and live energy of the earth they thought that they had control of, that we've taken out of their hands. And so when I came back from my trip in June, I said, watch for the fires out west. They're going to start. And they did. And 6 to 13 states were burning, or 6 to 8, thousands of acres. So I think the next thing is probably going to be some kind of disaster that will put a lot of pollution in the air, because they need pollution. They need that dead orgone energy. I don't know if flooding is their thing. I don't understand if they're flooding certain areas on purpose, or if it's just a result, and if like an effect result type thing. And so I don't know about the flooding. But I do know, like, fires and bombs and polluting the air will give them this dead orgone energy that they need to survive on. Because Satan's a dead being, folks, and all of his beings, his forces, they survive off of deadness. Not the living. God is the God of the living. Satan's the leader of the dead. And so that's what they survive off of. It's like a food to them. It's like an energy source. I've been in orgone battles for years, and I still don't even think they've caught on to exactly what's going on. Maybe they have by now. I don't know. I know certain people do, and most of them don't. Most just don't get it. And that's why we've been able to do as much as we have. Because by the time they realize they've been had, there'll be nothing they can do about it. And like I've always said, the Lord's always going to have the last laugh, folks. Any more questions? Just sign back on. I had to boot off for a little bit. JustGiveMeTheTruth.com, one of my websites, running out of bandwidth, and so I'm getting warnings about the bandwidth on that site, as I often do towards the end of the month. Between that and SerpentSeedline.com, I always get real close towards the ends of the month on bandwidth on those sites. Well, it's good to hear people are going to them, I can't I'm not going to upgrade the bandwidth size on the site. It just means more money out of my pocket in fees for that. But there's only a couple more days left in this month, and so if the website runs, you see a file not found or whatever, error message on the website, it'll be back up the first of the month. Every month you start over in bandwidth amounts and usages on websites. And so that's where it's at, folks. The Lord's not telling me to watch out for a stock market crash. Maybe it's because He has His other people doing that work. He has His other people working in different various areas to warn people of what's coming. But He keeps me focused just on things that He shows me in my own little areas or whatever that He wants me to stay focused in. And so that's what I see coming is a lot of, in America alone, in Europe, disasters, water disasters, the earth tilting. And like I said, He didn't give me a direct date. But maybe He wanted me to make mention of it because so many of you are heading into danger zones. You think you're leaving one danger zone and you're heading into another one. And so don't do it. If you're leaving your state because you don't feel safe there, you feel the Lord wants you to leave, get towards the center of the United States. Get away from water areas. The north, the south, the east, the west. I don't know how states like Montana and North Dakota, I don't think they're threatened very much. But like Chicago and Wisconsin and Minnesota, all those places would be pretty much drowned out by a tilting of the north. Just as like Ohio could be drowned out all the way to the center, along with Michigan. And just when you get over that disaster, then the earth will tilt backwards, and the southern states will be drowned out. And so, just a lot of tilting and wobbling and disasters coming that way. And when they hit, they're going to be sudden, and millions are going to die in an instant. So, something to think about. Don't be heading into these danger areas, these danger zones. Stay away from them and get to the center parts of the United States. Nebraska, Colorado, portions of states that hit right there in the center. Get a map out and just look at them and ask the Lord to reveal to you where to go, what He wants you to do. And ask Him to prepare a way, pave a way, if He's wanting you to move. We don't know when these disasters are going to strike, and Satan doesn't either. Maybe that angers him. He doesn't get a time date because I know quite well most of his entourage. Listen to every show I do, read everything I write, listen to everything I say for information. They want to know what the Lord's up to, what His plans are. Now, He may tell His people that He's God and that there is no other higher God, but He knows better. He knows better. I see it in the codes all the time. So just some things come up, and, like I said, if you've got money in the banks, don't be dependent on them, because if there is a stock market crash, they will close the banks and you won't be able to get your money out. And so always have available cash in small bills, somewhere hidden, somewhere buried, because there'll be a lot of looting, banks being closed, there's going to be a lot of robbing, people looking for money, robbing people for it. The Lord may have you hole up in your own house for a couple days, weeks, or even months at a time. So are you prepared for that? Start preparing, folks. Preparing for the inevitable things that we know are coming. Sooner or later, they're going to be at our door a lot sooner than any of us want them to be. Just going to be happening. And so we have to be prepared for that. And that's what I'm here to do. Anyway, until next week, folks. God bless. Keep the email questions coming in. Particular question you want to hear on the show answered next week, go ahead and send it to SherryTalkRadio@yahoo.com, and I'll answer it on the air next week. Until then, y'all bless.